Good evening. I'm Kimberly Elliott. I have grandchildren who attend the Indian River School District. Also, note taker for Wendy Mears and her public policy. She is an adult child sex abuse survivor, child advocate, and engineering educator in this district. Ms. Mears and I are present tonight to exercise our First Amendment right to express public concern regarding the ongoing workplace harassment that she has endured in the last 3 years. It is important to emphasize this harassment has politically and institutionally instigated by a Delaware state senator, and Ms. Mears was invited to speak publicly at this senator's Republican Human Trafficking Forum in 2023, which he organized, and a current female board member from the district attended. This board member, also being married into a Delaware state police family, displayed no concern that one of her own educators addressed the senator with these same truths. Ms. Mears possesses documented proof of the politician's post-exchange and has presented this information along with other evidence of harassment to the district superintendent. However, he chose not to report this to the authorities. The board continues to disregard these issues, and law enforcement has either ignored or neglected to follow up on these concerns. In light of this, we ask, what recourse does Ms. Mears have? Government entities have a responsibility to investigate these matters, yet no investigation has been conducted. Instead, the district has continued to engage in a pattern of intimidation and harassment tactics against Ms. Mears. No institution, organization, or political figure should be exempt from legal scrutiny. Recent events include a resigned board member advised Ms. Mears that she should contact local media Dan Gaffney on 105.9. Ms. Mears expressed her gratitude for the suggestion, but stated that her intention was to give the board an opportunity to address the situation, just as she had done with the administration, superintendent, HR, and law enforcement. The board member advised Ms. Mears not to wait more than a week, expressing his dissatisfaction with the way these matters had been handled. Ms. Mears waited a week before contacting the media, and the local media requested that she condense her concerns and experiences into a single sentence and would not allow her to discuss retaliation or involvement of the state senator. I myself called into the radio station, and all of my questions were redirected, and obviously this media person had not conducted any research on Ms. Mears' Substack, blog, YouTube channel, or whistleblower event. Media spokespersons have a responsibility to conduct thorough research before informing the public. Ms. Mears is still employed in a hostile work environment, dealing with
30 seconds.
Retraumation on her own harassment. We urge you to support the passage of House Bill 417 in the next legislative section. Please contact Representative Tim Dukes and other representatives to emphasize that no safeguards should be put in place for institutions or organizations that conceal child abuse. And criminal activities directed towards Ms. Mears exemplify why HB 417 is crucial. Safeguards for institutions and organizations obstruct justice and victims of child sexual abuse. Thank you for your time. Have a great holiday.
Thank you. Ms. Mears?
Good evening. I'm Wendy Mears. As a guest on Dan Gaffney's radio show, I experienced further harassment from the district. Unfortunately, no current board members have responded to any of my ongoing concerns. The day after, the assistant superintendent returned to my classroom, accompanied by a district investigator, and presented a letter which contained accusations of being a conspiracy theorist and instructed me to leave the premises. The district demanded I undergo a psychological evaluation with our third-party network. Refusal would have resulted in insubordination. I believe their intention was to discredit my character and question my fitness to teach, using trauma I have endured as a basis for their claims. In order to justify demand for evaluation, the district had to provide documentation. They utilized emails I sent to 2 board members in April regarding my whistleblower event. Board members had not responded to my concerns at that time, but instead used those emails in an attempt to ruin my reputation. HB 417, overturned in New York and Maryland, has led to a surge of civil lawsuits from victims of rape against prominent figures, including those involved in recent Holly Weird scandals with P. Diddy. HB 417 would enable victims of child sexual abuse to come forward, even anonymously. It would expose the institutions, organizations, and individuals who have been complicit in covering up these crimes. I've made my personal matter public because it exemplifies the systemic mistreatment of survivors and whistleblowers who are perceived as strange and then gaslighted, dismissed, or silenced. I successfully navigated the 4-hour psychological evaluation because I'm not mentally unstable. This is a common and harmful tactic used to discredit survivors, and precisely why 86% of us hesitate to come forward, suppress with addictions, or we take our own lives. Perpetrators evade consequences due to the protections received from their allies. Primary objectives of these individuals and institutions is to safeguard their own reputations and maintain their influence within our government. In my situation, one such ally would be Senator Brian Pettyjohn, a high-ranking Mason, who viewed my account, then deleted my dislike post exchange, which then prompted an emergency meeting by my school district the exact same day, and the shenanigans began. Survivors suffering at the hands of some of these secret societies are not mere conspiracy theories. These groups often operate under the guise of benevolence, but their actions reveal a different reality. In conclusion, I pray for grace on the employees used against me because it affected all of our lives and devastated our families, including my own. And I pray for an end to this harassment because my students will hurt the most. All this comes down to the heart. When our hearts are hardened, people live for money and not the truth. My resilience stems from a power greater than any of us, and all of our children are worth it to me, just like each one of you, as his children, are wanted intimately by him. And when our hearts are softened, we believe. Also, to the top leadership here, Jesus was also considered a conspiracy theorist, and then he rose from the dead. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also have my letter that you guys can, if you don't mind, can I trust you to pass them out?
You could just leave it on the podium.